Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Not on the water right now, and we aren't going to be on the water this video. We just got back from the Door County trip. Unfortunately, it rained and poured. A bad thunderstorm right before the event started on Saturday. Wasn't able to get the camera out because I was worried it would rain again. It actually never did, but the fishing wasn't all that great anyways. I caught 5 fish during the tournament. Only was able to count 3 of them because the other 2 weren't long enough. I launched with 2 other guys that went out to the Strawberry Islands, and I'll kind of get over in the map here in a second where I went and what we did. But 2 other guys went out to the Strawberry Islands with me. They didn't catch anything, so I was able to pull a few. I saw some live scope action where I was, but just wasn't able to pull them in. But I did get to go out on Monday morning before we took a boat ride. And I went a little bit north, Ellison Bay. Again, I'll get to that in a second, where I'll show you on a map where we were, and I killed it. They were smallmouth everywhere. In about 2 hours, I could have caught probably like 15, 20 fish. I caught a lot of smallmouth. I was kind of just screwing around, changing tackle. I only had a couple rods with me, so but it was a blast. I definitely picked the wrong spot to go for that time of year, but just kind of wanted to give you an overview on what I used, kind of how I did what I did to catch them. And the first thing is kind of with anything finesse, I've always loved this screwhead jig. This is a Megabass Shakira jig screwhead. It's got a little propeller on there, you can see. But I have one rigged up here with what I was using, which was just a Keitech Fat Impact swim jig. That is the electric shad color. It kind of mimicked what the alewife were doing, dying off. If anything, I wish I would have brought the 4.5 inch, because I feel like the alewife that were dying off were bigger than this 3.5 inch. Which altogether, this is probably like 4 almost with the jig head in there too, but I just feel like it was, I needed something a little bit bigger, a little bit fattier profile to key on what they were biting. But I did catch some fish on this. I've always loved this, and I've always done really good on it. The other thing I did was, this is a Maxent flatworm in the Gobayashi color. So it's kind of mimicking that goby that just swims around the bottom. So those were the 2 full foliage I was kind of going after. This is the 4.25 inch, and I was throwing that on I think this is a 3/64 ounce 1/0 hover rig from Core Tackle. I love their stuff, the Tushhook, all of the Ozark rig, but this has been kind of a magic thing. And pairing it with that flatworm has been awesome. I'll rig this up right here so you can kind of see what it looks like rigged up. But all I did with this is just kind of let it fall. I had it on really light line too. The water was so clear, I actually had it on 4 pound thin fluorocarbon. I think it was FC Sniper, Sunline FC Sniper, thin fluorocarbon, long leader. I did have a braid backing, but it was a long leader because they could get spooked, and I was throwing it in sometimes 15 feet of water, and I didn't want them to see the braid backing. But once that's on there, I mean, that's kind of gives you an idea of, so it's a really light, and all I did was just kind of throw that out, let it kind of death spiral. You can kind of see that flat bottom there that has. It just kind of makes it glide around the water, just keeps spinning and gliding, being really erratic on the way down. So if they didn't hit it on the way down, you would just let it sit on the bottom for a second, just give it one slight pull to kind of mimic that goby just pulling across the bottom of the water, and they would hit it immediately. This was the ticket too. Probably caught 10 on this, 5 on this, maybe around there somewhere. But this was this was magic in those 2 hours I had before we went on our boat ride. So unfortunately, wasn't able to film anything, but I'll kind of give you an overview of how I did it over a map and kind of help everybody out. All right, everyone. So we were fishing Door County, which is up here in Wisconsin. I have Lake Michigan on this side. You have Green Bay on this side. Just a big peninsula. It's actually fully separated. There's a shipping canal that comes in here into Sturgeon Bay. And then there's Little Sturgeon Bay down here. But we could fish everything that's basically in this highlighted area here. All the way up and around. We couldn't do Plum Island, which is out here, or Washington Island, and then all the way around this side as well. You can see the Strawberry Islands are highlighted in that area. They're about 1.25 miles offshore. I fished those, so I launched from right here, Tenson Bay kayak launch, went about 1.25 miles out. The wind was coming up this direction. In the morning, it was like a southwest wind. So I figured, let's get tucked in on this side and let those waves kind of crash this way. There was a big point that came out here, a tapering point that came out of this area. And I wanted to fish that. There was weeds all along this area, all the way from 4 to sometimes I found them in 15, 16 feet. I'm sure they could go even deeper as well. Right here, that's kind of where they were. Primarily fished this. You can actually see it here too. I fished that a little bit. It comes out. It's another tapering like point that comes off. Caught most of my fish right here though. Most of my bites I actually fished this as well. There's just kind of weeds that come out this way. But I fished that, but mostly Adventure Island here. Fished this tapering point here, fished this. This was all wind blown and hard to get to, so I didn't really do much here. There's a big flat here with some, you can see some small islands. I didn't get to that either just because I didn't want to deal with the wind any more than I had to, because the waves can get pretty bad in there. But yeah, no, it was a cool experience getting to fish that. Wish I would have got the video of it. Again, we caught 5 fish, only could count 3 of those 5 fish, unfortunately. I caught like a 17.5 though. That was like, it felt like a 4-pounder. They're just fat here. So if you ever get the chance to come fish, the fish, the smallmouth are fat. They are literal footballs, which is fun. But I'd also, so that being said, on Saturday was the tournament. On Monday I went out for 2 hours before we took a boat ride. I left from the Ellison Bay boat launch here. And there were fish stacked all up in here. Basically, if there was a seawall, a breakwall, they were on it. They were in here, right outside the launch. They were stacked up heavy right here. I've caught a bunch on this little dock here that comes out in this breakwall, along that breakwall and under the dock. Caught them on this breakwall. But you can kind of just see, like, there's breakwalls all over the place. I could have just... If I had more than 2 hours, I could have just annihilated them. But we caught a ton of smallmouth in a short period of time. So I would have caught my limit much easier had I come here and known that. But again, I didn't have any practice. Never fished this place before. So I didn't expect too much. I had heard good things for the Strawberry Islands from locals. And I've just seen videos of people on the Strawberry Islands. So I figured I'd try it out. Did not produce the numbers I needed, unfortunately. Another place I would like to try, 2 more places I'd like to try fishing, is the Dorbuff Headlands here. There's a big 15-foot flat that comes out here. And then it's kind of a steep drop-off all the way in here. You can kind of see a shipwreck that's in here. There's a shipwreck in here, which is kind of cool. But again, you have breakwalls, you have drop-offs. So I feel like I could have got a bunch of fish in here as well, and then possibly even the flat. But I'd also like to try Plum Island, which I think would be really cool. There's another shipwreck in here as well. We got to see it on a boat tour we took, and there it is right there. But this is just like these long tapering points like this. It just looks dreamy. to be honest. We actually pulled into this break wall here, and I saw a couple large or smallmouth in there, which was kind of neat. But yeah, overall the experience was awesome. Door County is a beautiful place. It's a fun place. Egg Harbor, Fish Creek, Epherium, Sister Bay are just like hopping place with great food, great nightlife if you want, day life. They all have tons of beaches that you can go to, and they're just super fun. Me and the wife on Sunday went around and just kind of toured the entire island. We started at Peninsula State Park. We went to Ellison Bluff Natural Area, which is a county park. It's kind of cool. It's got this overlook that you can go out over here and like kind of stand over the bluff wall, which is kind of creepy, but it is super cool. And then if you're a fan of hiking, this place is awesome. This is probably my favorite part of the entire vacation. This road is a little sketchy coming in, by the way, just because it's kind of beat up, and I assume it was just from washout from rain. There's a lot of potholes and things, but once you get in there, there's just basically trails. Nothing's like set in stone. It's just beaten up trails, so you can kind of go off on your own, do your own thing. There's a break in the bluff walls. I think it's somewhere down in here. We were able to climb down and get all the way to the water, and you have a 100-foot bluff wall on one side, 100-foot bluff wall on the other. It was cool to get down there and then hike back up and then go over the bluff wall here, just kind of stand on top of it looking it down. There's ancient Indian pictographs that are on these bluff walls, which is really cool to see. An old Indian tribe here was trying to take over the area, and they set out in canoes once. The native Indians around Washington Island knew this was coming. They set out in canoes, and this is called Death's Door because of how bad the waves can get. Well, a storm came, and the waves got really bad, and basically like wiped both tribes out. All the people that were in the water just got killed. So it was a crazy thing. We learned this all on the adventure rafting boat ride, which I highly recommend. They were awesome. It's a smaller boat, not a lot of people, and they zoomed us around all the way around here. We went to Pilot Island, Plum Island. We were all the way around here. Cool people. We saw shipwrecks. There's like that shipwreck up here, Plum Island we talked about right there. We saw the shipwreck down in this area. I think it's in this area. There is a shipwreck right here somewhere. Google Earth doesn't want to upload. But yeah, super awesome trip. Highly recommend it. We did some kayaking as well out of Raleigh's Bay. We went up the Mink River to about right here, and then came back down and then around the bay and back to the launch. That was super cool because this is all really shallow, all of this. So you could see the bottom everywhere. It was kind of neat. So cool trip overall. Highly recommend it. Yeah, and that's it. I will get another video out for next Monday, hopefully with some fishing if we can get out. I want to get out on the I haven't been out on Lake Geneva, I don't think at all this year, and I would like to get, or actually I've been on once, but I want to get back out there. I want to get on the Fox, but the Fox has been really high lately, so I'm waiting for it to kind of calm back down before we get back out there to catch some smallmouth. But yeah, we will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.